Guys, Tuesday morning after the long weekend, Labor Day. Um, got a ton of stuff going on today. Uh, Yesterday I had made a list of, oh jeez, made a list of all the things that I need to do to get this thing ready for a test run. Knocked a few of those little things off the list. Did run into a couple of snags already. One of which is my steering wheel. It's being an asshole, and problem with that is I've got the column from one supplier, the adapter from a different one, the wheel from a third one, and the horn button from a fourth one, and I'm trying to make all these things fit and ran into a problem. I'll show you what that's all about. My buddy just left here. He came by. We were going to sort out the brakes and decided to start right from the beginning. So we pulled the master cylinder off and put it in the vise to bench bleed it, and the master's no good. Could only get fluid out of one side. So went on Amazon, found an AC Delco direct replacement identical unit, ordered it. It's supposed to be in tomorrow. It was $100, $110, something like that. So yeah, once I get the master in. Now, last night my cousin called me. He's a mechanic as well, and he suggested that the proportioning valve might need to be reset. And that still may be the case, I don't know, but at least now we've got a master cylinder that's going to work. So once I get that hooked on, we'll go from there. There's only so many things that can be wrong. I mean, master proportioning valve, what else is there? So yeah, we'll get the brakes sorted out probably tomorrow or Thursday, depending on what time that master comes in. And yeah, so on top of that, today, after my wife gets home from work, I gotta go pick up that Camaro and get it home. So yeah, lots of stuff going on. So I might as well just get to it. All right, so here's my list. There's a couple of biggies here. Bleed the brakes, well, I'm gonna have to wait, of course. Vacuum lines, I've already done the vacuum lines to the booster and the transmission. Transmission cross members just got to be, permanently bolted in. That's not a big deal. Bolt down the cab, yeah, we gotta have that. I've got the front bolts in and nuts on them, and they're finger tight, but I haven't bolted down the rear of the back of the cab yet, so got to do that. An overflow can at the rad. Wire the ignition. I got to top off all these fluids. Heater hose, have to reconnect it. The steering wheel, being a bitch. Strap up wires and stuff that's hanging underneath, and bolt on the battery box. So a few of these things I've already done. Like I said, I've done the vacuum lines. I've done the wire the ignition. I've done the heater hose, and I bolted down the battery box. So yeah, we got a few things crossed off already, and so I'll show you what the problem is with that steering wheel. Okay, so here's my problem. Here's the column. This is the adapter, and the problem with the adapter is that it's well, first of all, the holes didn't line up for the horn mechanism, so I had to drill that out. It's good now, but the big problem is, let's get it on there. This part of the adapter is too tight, and it's wedging onto the column, and it's going to bind up the steering. So I can't have it tight. So what I need to do, I started on it already, is clearance a little bit of the column here. I'm just using this little guy because I don't want to take too much off. Just enough so that it'll fit on there and rotate freely. I've also ran my little bit of sandpaper on the inside of the adapter, hoping to pick up a little bit of space there as well. And once I get that working, then I can put all the stuff together. But yeah, it's being a son of a bitch, and shouldn't be like that. But I guess when you get some stuff in from overseas, you never know exactly what you're gonna get until you go to put it together. So there you go. I'm gonna dick around with that, and hopefully I can get this working properly. All right, so I had no luck with that. What I ended up doing was cutting this down. So I took about about half an inch off. So now it just kind of butts up to it, and I got to tweak it a little bit yet, but we have steering. So yeah, I just got to clean up some of the rough edges and maybe take a little bit more off. But it is what it is. It's a damn shame though. You got to start modifying brand new parts like that. It sucks. So anyway, it's on there. All right, so you can see that this ring here is the piece that I'd cut off of this. So this is actually now in two pieces. So this is just like a trim ring because I took the little grinder to it and marked it up. So I used that to cover it up. I also put a little piece of very thin plastic in between here and here because it was making a noise, So now it's pretty good. But now, and with every solution comes another problem. Problem here is the way this column is made in this adapter. This sticks up too far to put my fancy schmancy horn button on. So I got to come up with something else. Either I got to space this up or just find some kind of a cap that'll go over that, or put a remote horn button, on the dash or something. I don't know. I got to think about that. But as far as a test drive goes, this is good to go. So, yeah. Also, what else did I do here? I ran my, like I said, I ran my vacuum line for my brake booster, and going down to the transmission, tightened up my battery box, and all I did was I moved a couple of wires around, and I'm going to use the same ignition switch that I used when I broke it in. I'll just clamp it to the dash or something. So yeah, there's enough slack in the wires to reach inside the cab. So there you go. So what else? Well, I just looped my heater hose back onto itself, so it just goes around. Yeah, so I'm gonna move on to, I'll grab something else off the list and get that done. Hey, I'm back. It's actually the next day. Yesterday afternoon, and it was freaking hot, man. I knocked a couple of big things off the list. One was bolting the cab down, and the other one was the transmission cross member. My cab was actually over to one side a little bit at the back, so the holes at the rear weren't lining up. I should have probably bolted it all down before I started assembling the front end, but I didn't. So don't be a dumbass like me and make that mistake. At least get the bolts all started, while you can move the cab around freely. So yeah, I was being a little stubborn and turned into a bit of a job. So anyway, got that done. I also tackled the transmission cross member and got that all sorted out. I actually had to jack up the tail of the transmission a little bit, shim it up with a little bit of rubber. That gave me some room to turn the distributor at the firewall because it's a little snug. So for timing purposes. So that's done. But I did have to add a couple of things to the list. I want to hook up the electric cooling fan. So got to run a wire for that. And because I'm going to be running that, I don't want to just drain the battery. I'm going to wire in the alternator as well. Might as well get it done. So yeah, a couple little things. Then after that, I went and got the Camaro and drove it home. So I'll show you what that's all about in a few minutes. But right now I'll grab the camera and show the cab thing. So back here, measured this distance here, and it had to come this way about 7/16, I guess. So I ended up with 1.9/16 on each side, so they're the same. I used this big ass crowbar, put a piece of rubber here so I didn't chip the paint, pulled it over, and then just kind of wedged the bar against the wheel, and it held in place. And the thing with this is, it's such a bitch to line up. There's no real adjustment here. So this little rectangular block is threaded. Each of the holes is threaded, so it goes through the mount underneath, and you gotta, get these in place through the holes in the floor. Well, there's no real adjustment. So I did ream out the holes a little bit just to give me some play, so I could get the bolts in. And yeah, it's all bolted down now, and it's good. Tightened up the front as well. So front was easy. I had the bolts in, and the nuts were on there finger tight, so no big deal there. So I crossed those items off my list, right? So I've only got fluids, an overflow can, strap and clean up the wires and stuff underneath. That'll take 10 minutes. And I'm waiting for my master cylinder to come in so I can hook that up and bleed the brakes. I'll wire in those other two things that are not on the list, but get them done. And yeah, we should be ready to do a test run. So anyway, I'll get back to the Camaro and show you what's going on with that. We'll fire it up and all those good things. So last night when the wife got home from work, I got her to give me a lift to the other end of town to go pick up that. And a little added bonus, it came with 2 rally rims. I didn't know were included. So that's cool, because these Kragers are pretty rusty, so I don't think they'll clean up very well. They're pretty pitted. So yeah, the rallies are cool. And I kind of like the rallies anyway, so I'll be on the lookout for 2 more. Yeah, so we pulled up with the Mopar, hooked up booster cables, and because the battery was low in this thing, and actually fired right up. So drove it home. It was a bit of a noise coming from, I couldn't tell, I think it's the back wheels, kind of like a brakes are dragging or something. I'm not sure. I'll have to get it up in the air and spin the wheels around, see what the hell's going on. But in all honesty, for what's supposed to be a quote muscle car, it's pretty gutless. So but I'll fire it up, and yeah, we'll take a peek and listen to it run. It runs well. Doesn't burn oil or smoke or anything like that. So there we go. Bad at all. You can see it's, not smoking or anything. Trailer hitch. What's a trailer hitch on a Camaro? Anyway, that's gonna go. So I'll let it warm up a little bit, and then we'll take it around the block for a little run. There you go. One running, driving Camaro. Okay, here we go. thing runs and drives pretty good. I'm surprised because I know these things rode like tanks, but this one doesn't seem to be too bad. Maybe I just remember it wrong. But you know, I've had a couple of these things over the years, but this one's not bad at all. Guy kind of looked after it, I guess. So I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with this thing. Do I paint it and make it all nice and pretty, or do I just flip it, or what? I don't know. Here's the problem. My 17-year-old daughter fell in love with this thing. So, you know, Daddy's little girl is, right? Daddy, you know, oh man. So, I'm not sure what the hell I'm gonna do with it, but if she wants the car, she's gonna have to help me work on it, and that's the bottom line. So, yeah, we'll see if she's into that. But it can't interfere with her schooling either. You know, she wants to go in to be a chemical engineer, so yeah, she's got some serious schooling ahead of her. But well, we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm just gonna go down the road here a little bit. Drop in and see my buddy. He just lives down here a little bit. That moves out all right, I guess. Anyway, well, my buddy's a little camera shy, so I think I'll turn this off right now. Well, my buddy, I don't think he's a big fan of these things, but he approves. The more you drive it, the better this thing's running and making less weird noises. I think it's probably been sitting for quite a while. Anyway, that's her. So, heading back to the compound, and we'll wrap this thing up. There we go. One test drive in a Camaro. Alright, so I know what you're thinking. Why didn't he do a burnout? Well, to be honest with you, it won't do one. I tried, believe me. And I wasn't gonna, you know, pull a bullshit scam, throw some soapy water on the tires or something and just fake it. So yeah, it just doesn't have the balls to do it. I don't know what the gearing in it is, but yeah, it just won't light up. So so that's why I didn't do a burnout, because it won't do one. Anyway, I tracked my master cylinder. It is in town now. So, and it's what, 10:30 in the morning, so it should be here this afternoon, and get that on and get the brakes working, and in the next video I should be able to go for a test drive. So yeah, super pleased with that. I know it's been kind of dragging on, but it is what it is, and you know, I'm alone here, so I'm trying to get everything done on my own, and with the exception of the brakes, I got my buddy giving me a hand with that, just to expedite things a little bit and move things along. So yeah. What else? Yeah, that's about it, I guess. You know, if you're not subscribed and you're watching this video and you like what you see, please subscribe, and I'd truly appreciate it. Don't be shy. Leave comments down below, like the channel, and all those good things. And if you have subscribed already, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And you know, if you're not doing anything else, get out in the garage and build something, man. Hey, later, guys.